Yes, I want this.
Then what are you willing to sacrifice?
Everything!
They told y'all this movie was trash. 31% Rotten Tomatoes. Confusing, hollow, pointless.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Bruh, nah. What if I told you Him wasn't just bad? It was too real for them to promote. A movie that tried to show you how the game really works. How goats ain't born. They're chosen. Chosen by people you never see. The agents, the owners, the mentors. The same ones that decide who gets rich, who gets sacrificed, and who disappears. You think football's just a sport? Nah, it's the modern day gladiator show with cameras instead of coliseums. So before you laugh this movie off, sit back.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Because I'm about to show you how Him exposes the dark ritual of fame and why every star's story starts with one question. What are you willing to give up to be great? Before Him even dropped, people thought Jordan Peele had another masterpiece on the way. You know, symbolism, social commentary, that woke thriller vibe. But what they got instead felt like a fever dream with a football. Critics called it lazy, confusing, pointless. 31% Rotten Tomatoes, bruh.
Emotional damage.
That's worse than some straight-to-DVD horror flicks. But see, that's the thing. When a movie's too weird, too messy, or too real, Hollywood don't fix it. They bury it. They call it a flop so nobody asks questions. And that's exactly what they did here. Because Him ain't about football. It's about control. Control of the athlete, control of the image, control of who gets to wear the crown. They framed it like a sports horror film, but what they really gave us was a blueprint of how fame works. The handlers, the blood, the contracts, the rituals. It's all symbolism for how the system grooms talent and breaks souls. And if you look close, it's not just sports. It's music, it's movies, it's politics. Same story, different jersey.
It's everywhere these days.
Think about it. Why'd they even name it Him?
Why? 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 Why?
Because that's what the world worships now. The hymns, the goats, the ones who made it. But Him shows what happens when being the man comes with a ritual attached. So before we talk about the goats, the blood, and the gladiator games, just remember, they didn't fail to make a good movie. They accidentally told too much truth. Everybody loves to say hard work beats talent. Bruh, that sound good on motivational posters, but in real life, hard work just gets you noticed by the people who decide who wins. You don't become the GOAT, you get picked to play the part. In Him, the main character thought he was finally living his dream until he found out that dream was scripted before he even put on pads. The owners already had their next star. His name, his number, even his destiny, all chosen. That's the same story every industry runs. They told us LeBron was the chosen one before he even touched the league. Michael Jordan, the NBA turned him into a religion. They made sure his teammates vanished in the background because the league needed a savior. Music did it too. Drake got crowned before Thank Me Later even dropped. Travis Scott got pushed like a project rollout. Taylor Swift, whole machine built around America's innocence. Ain't no coincidence every award show looks like a coronation. You ever notice how every decade has one GOAT, one it person, one face of the game?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
That's not evolution, that's allocation. And when you break it down, it's always the same pattern. They find the talent young. They flood them with handlers, trainers, PR agents, sponsors. They build them up, isolate them from real people, and by the time he realizes he's a brand, not a man, it's too late. The movie shows this perfectly. Isaiah, the veteran GOAT, training Cameron. But he ain't training them for greatness, he's training them for replacement, to pass down the torch, or the curse, depending on how you look at it. Bruh, that's mentorship in Hollywood 101. They don't teach you the game, they teach you their game. It's not about legacy, it's about lineage. You die, the system lives on. So yeah, Him might look like fiction, But every league, every label, every talent agency runs on the same ritual. The only difference, their blood transfusions just look like contracts. In him, they literally inject the rookie with the GOAT's blood. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the part they won't say out loud. That scene ain't random. It's metaphor. It's about the real rituals these industries use to keep their stars superhuman. The same way Isaiah kept his blood stored for later games, real athletes do it too, just in cleaner rooms with better branding. Cyclists used to pull their own blood, freeze it, and pump it back in for stamina. They called it blood doping. And when Lance Armstrong got caught, he wasn't the only one. He was just the one who ran out of cover. You think it's different in the NFL?
Shit, I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you that. Like,
guys get pain shots that'd drop a horse just to play Sunday. Cortisone, Toradol, anti-inflammatory cocktails. Half these dudes numb before they even run out the tunnel. In Hollywood, they got their own potions. Vitamin drips, oxygen therapy, stem cell rejuvenation. They call it wellness, but it's still the same ritual. Fake youth, fake energy, fake godhood. Even Tom Brady admitted it low-key. His ex-wife straight told the world she's a good witch. Making him altars, stones, and protection drops before games. They laughed it off like a cute story, but that's still ritual work in plain sight. The whole goat blood thing is just a coded version of what already happens. The passing down of power, the recycling of performance, the worship of longevity. Because when your worth depends on being better than everyone else, you'll take whatever keeps you superhuman. And the crazy part, it's never enough. Once the blood dries, the crowd forgets, and the machine looks for the next body to fill the suit. That's what him was really showing us. This ain't about superstition. It's about the system that feeds on human potential and drains it for profit. They just replaced syringes with symbolism, made it look cinematic so we wouldn't notice it's the same story every era. At the end of him, when Cameron refuses to sign that contract, that ain't just a movie scene. That's rebellion. That's the moment the gladiator stops dancing for Rome. Because football, it's just the new Coliseum. Millions screaming, beers spilling, camera zoomed in. Same formula, different century. The crowd don't care who gets crushed as long as somebody bleeds for the show. They tell you it's just entertainment. But what's entertainment built on? Bodies, concussions, contracts that read like slave codes. You get hurt, they cut you. You speak out, they fine you. You retire, they forget your name. Junior Seau, one of the greatest linebackers alive.
This guy, Junior Seau, is absolutely unbelievable. What a football player.
Shot himself in the chest just so scientists could study his brain for CTE. Aaron Hernandez, CTE so bad it made him violent before 30. Antonio Brown, spiraled on live TV, but the league still profits billions every season. Tell me that's not modern Rome. And this ain't just sports. Hollywood, TikTok, politics, it's all one big circus. They feed us content while they count the coins. They give us heroes to worship so we never notice the emperors in the skybox. In him, the team owners threaten Cameron's family if he won't sign. That's not exaggeration. That's how real contracts work. You think artists like Kanye or Dave Chappelle went crazy? Nah, they just stopped kneeling.
Gotcha.
When you stop playing that game, the empire calls you unstable. And the symbolism, the checkered floors, the goat masks, the blood on the field, it's all saying the same thing. Fame is a contract signed in silence. You don't just give your name, you give your peace. So when Cameron walks away, covered in blood, he's not broken. He's finally free. He chose peace over power, soul over salary. Most won't do that. Most would sign, smile, and call it success. But him showed the cost. The GOAT crown ain't gold, it's guilt, pain, and a lifetime of silence. When Cameron walks away in blood, that ain't defeat, that's rebirth. He didn't lose the game, he just stopped playing theirs. See, him ain't about football, it's about every soul that ever had to pick between peace and power, between keeping your name, keeping your soul. They don't tell you that part in the interviews. They show the fame, the mansion, the GOAT trophies, but they never show what you give up to keep them.
I've never seen.
Ask Prince why he wrote slave on his face.
Why?
Ask Dave Chappelle why he walked away from 50 million.
Why?
Ask Lauryn Hill why she vanished after telling people to lose their minds and find their souls.
Why? Why?
Hollywood calls it creative burnout. I call it survival. Fame is sweet until you taste the aftershock. The cameras turn off, The crowd moves on, and you realize all that time, they weren't cheering for you. They were cheering for the story. So yeah, maybe him wasn't perfect, but sometimes truth don't need polish. It just needs to be said. Because at the end of the day, every chosen one has to face the same question. When the lights go out, who were you without the deal? Fame or freedom? Legacy or life? You can't keep both forever. Once they call you the brand, you're not human no more. You're property. Your face becomes a logo. Your name turns into a trademark, and every smile got a clause behind it. Cameron thought he was signing to play football. Nah, bruh. He was signing his image. His walk, his voice, his blood, all copyrighted by the team. Same playbook they use in Hollywood in the music game. Look at Kanye. The moment he stops fitting the narrative, they pulled the plug on his deals overnight. Britney shaved her head and the industry called her crazy instead of human. Tiger Woods gets caught slipping. The world don't say man made a mistake. They say the brand collapsed.
Gotta know exactly who you are. Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
That's the real ritual right there. Turn people into products, then sell their breakdowns for clicks. Because pain sells too, long as the camera's rolling. Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston, legends, but also lessons. They became brands so big they couldn't breathe outside the marketing plan. And when the brand starts to crack, the system don't call a therapist, it calls a replacement. That's why when Cameron walks away, it hits different. He's not just rejecting the blood deal, he's rejecting the brand deal. He's saying, you can keep the logo, I'll keep my soul. Because once the logo's louder than your voice, you already sold the part of you that could scream no. Here's the part they never teach you in media training. The same people who build you up are already grooming your replacement. That GOAT title, it comes with an expiration date. Every league, every label, every industry got a secret department called Next Up.
Next!
While you out there celebrating your moment, somebody younger, cheaper, and easier to control is waiting in the tunnel. Look back, Michael Jordan steps out, LeBron walks in. Tupac and Biggie gone, industry spins Jay-Z and Diddy. Britney melts down, they roll out Taylor. Kanye goes rogue, they plug in Travis.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Same system, same script, just a new face for the feed. And it ain't always death that ends the cycle. Sometimes it's scandal, rehab, creative differences, or that classic taking time off to focus on family. Translation, they done with you. It's the ritual of replacement, the silent transfer of power where the machine gets fresh blood while pretending to mourn the last donor. They throw you a tribute, retire your number, and move on before the flowers even wilt. That's why Him hits so hard. It shows the moment the star realizes he's not the prize, he's the prototype. They weren't honoring him, they were harvesting him. Every man in that movie was chasing a ghost. Cameron wasn't playing for glory, he was playing for his father's approval.
Let's take everything back to what my pops taught me. No guts, no glory.
The idol, Isaiah, wasn't mentoring. He was manipulating, passing down the same curse that broke his spirit. That's the real trap. The hunger to prove yourself to someone who ain't even watching no more. Most men don't chase trophies. They chase validation from ghosts. Their dad, their coach, their first mentor, the crowd that never clapped loud enough. That's why the elite prey on that wound. They know the easiest way to own a man is to convince him he's almost worthy. Keep him chasing that last ounce of approval, and you never have to chain him. He'll chain himself. That's why every locker room got a father figure. Every label got a big bro. Every Hollywood agent says, I'll take care of you, kid. It's not mentorship, it's emotional leverage. So when Cameron finally kills Isaiah, it's not just the end of a rivalry, it's the end of a cycle. He's breaking free from the need to impress men who already sold their own souls. That's the part of the movie that hits different when you've lived it. When you realize sometimes walking away ain't weakness, it's healing. So after all that, the rituals, the contracts, the handlers, the blood, Him stops being a movie. It turns into a mirror showing us what success really costs when it's built on control, and how every empire, from the NFL to Hollywood, runs on one unspoken rule. The show don't stop, even when the soul does. They feed you dreams about being the one, but the truth is there's always another one waiting in line, ready to trade peace for a spotlight. And the cycle keeps spinning, generation after generation, body after body. So maybe the real heroes ain't the ones who win the game. Maybe it's the ones who walk away before it owns them. Prince walked away, Chappelle disappeared, Lauryn Hill vanished mid-peak. They didn't lose, they escaped. And that's what him was trying to tell you the whole time. That greatness without freedom ain't greatness. It's slavery with better lighting. So now I gotta ask you this. If the price of being a legend was your peace, your privacy, and your soul, would you still sign that deal? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to see where y'all stand on that. And if you made it this far, fam, you already know what to do. Hit that like, share this video, and tell somebody who still thinks success got no strings attached. If you like this breakdown, check the one that just popped on your screen right now. Trust me, it connects perfectly. I'll see you on the next one. Panda out.